All righty, here we go. So good morning, everybody. My name is Sarita Sanders. I'm the CTS manager. I'm in the San Antonio office. And I'm here today with Mr. Roth, the OACTS director. Say good morning, Mr. Roth. And so we are here to present on placement policies in the Circle of Success. So placement happens after the student separates from the Job Corps Center. But one of the things that we want to answer today, with this presentation is kind of the why and how it all fits together and why placement is so important and what your role is in it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with the presentation. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yes? Okay, perfect. Cool. So placement, the circle of success. So in the beginning, just kidding. We're not going to go back to the beginning of time, just to the beginning of labor market information. But in 1913, the Department of Labor was established to foster, promote, and develop the welfare of working people, to improve their working conditions, and to enhance their opportunities for profitable employment. In the 1920s, the American labor market began to be studied. The main goals were to track geographic allocation of labor, form decisions about training and education of workers, identify inequalities in wages, and to improve the time spent between work and other activities. So how is this relevant today? Well, the importance of the workforce and labor market information is that it's essential to the nation's economy, providing for the efficient operation of labor markets by supplying quality labor market intelligence. Accurate, objective, relevant, timely, and accessible workforce and labor market information is critical for building a skilled workforce that spurs business competitiveness and economic growth, strengthening career pathways and guiding skill attainment for good jobs, economic opportunity, and career growth, understanding the rapidly changing nature of work and how it impacts the workforce and U.S. economy, and spending workforce training and education funds effectively. This is a look at the labor market information for the Rural Capital Workforce Development Area. As you look into labor market information, you're going to see the letters WDA quite a bit. That stands for Workforce Development Area. Okay, so now we're going to take a little brain break. What makes Bracken Cave in Comal County, Texas, a noteworthy location? Anybody? We got prizes for answers. Anyone? Bracken Cave in Comal County? And if you're writing in the chat box, I can't see it, so you got to holler.
Bats.
Bats?
That's right. Awesome. Who said bats?
Felipe
I did,
Carizales.
but someone said it before me.
Okay, so Miss Cyphers, and then what was your last name?
Carrizales.
Carizales. Got it. All righty. Perfect. We got some prizes coming your way. So Bracken Cave in Comal County is home to an absolutely staggering number of Mexican free-tailed bats. Population is estimated to be around 20 million members, which makes it the largest population of bats in America. Okay, so WIOA and One Stop. So based off the collected labor market information, the Department of Labor has implemented a number of programs to achieve set goals. The current plan is called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA. So WIOA establishes a one-stop delivery system to provide career services and access to training services, access to programs and activities carried out by one-stop partners, and access to all workforce and labor market information, job search, placement, recruitment, and labor exchange services. So this is a map showing all the Texas one-stops, and they're kind of hard to see, but if you can see these little white dots here, that's where Job Corps centers are located. But these are all one-stops in Texas. And then each one of these different colored areas is a workforce development area. So WIOA, one-stops, and Job Corps, oh my. So all these partners play a significant role in providing data that is compiled to comprise labor market information, which is then used for programs like WIOA that fund programs like Job Corps. So these are all our partners under WIOA. So why should you care about all this? Well, one, you work at Job Corps. But 2, your taxes fund our efforts. So you have a vested interest in this program's success. All right, so another little quiz time. Dr. Pepper comes from Texas. In what city was Dr. Pepper invented?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Nope, that's not right.
Waco, Texas.
Who's next?
Waco, Texas.
Waco.
Waco. Who said Waco first?
I did.
He did.
What's your last name?
Manning.
Manning. Got it. Perfect. You got a prize coming.
Thank you.
So Waco, Texas, where Dr. Pepper was invented. There's a very cool Dr. Pepper museum there. So if you ever get a chance, go visit it. The report card. So Job Corps centers are measured using national goals set using labor market information. The information we enter determines goals for placement, wage, earnings, numeracy, literacy, trade offerings, etc. The CDSS system also keeps extensive demographic records on enrollees and employers. Then centers and contracts are ranked in comparison to one another. So this is why data integrity is so crucial with everything that we enter into the system, because it's used to form goals. Whatever we put into the system today determines tomorrow's goals. So for example, we could go in there and put a whole bunch of students are making $50 an hour. But guess what? Next year, we have to make sure all the students are making $50 an hour because that's going to be the goal. So we got to make sure that what we put in there is accurate to what the labor market actually is. So 80% of the report card is placement. If we were to break the report card down into points instead of percentages, 80 out of 100 points are related to placement. So here's a breakdown. 10 points is for the placement, whether that's military, job, or school. 12.5 points is for quality, and that's comprised of JTM or job training match and then full-time. 7.5 points are for the wage. We want a wage of $11.84 or more. 20 points are for the Q2 surveys. 10 points are for the Q2 survey earnings, and 20 points are for the Q4 surveys. So as you can see, a big chunk of the report card is based off those long-term measures. So we're looking for a career for these students when they leave Job Corps, not just a job that's going to last a month or so and then they're going to move on to something else. And if you do the math on this with the Q2 earnings, we're actually expecting that these students get a raise within 6 months, the first 6 months of employment. So super important that they get put into a career where they're actually growing. So that was a lot of information. Let's take a break for another quiz question. Texas hasn't always been part of America. How many countries have claimed Texas as their own?
1.
Mr. Hellman said 6 in the chat box.
Oh, Mr. Hellman, you got it. Perfect. Yep, 6. So Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, Confederate States of America, and finally the United States of America. That's why we have 6 flags over Texas. So what can we do to help earn points? So the first thing that we need to do is to promote Gary to increase arrivals. Every time you leave your house, you have an opportunity to promote our program in your community. If you're going shopping, ask about pinning a business card or a flyer to their ad board. If you're going to the doctor, ask about job openings. If you're headed to the park, talk to your kids and their friends about the benefits of joining Job Corps. Use every opportunity to promote and recruit. The more applicants means the more arrivals, and the more arrivals we have, the better our pools, and our ability to impact more students is increased. The next thing we have to do after they arrive is retain these students. And so customer service is going to promote retention. So every department plays a critical role in retaining students. We all have a responsibility to keep our center full and keep the flow of graduates going. Our students are the next security guards, nurses, home builders, dispatchers, etc. Our students do amazing things after graduation, so we have to treat every student with the respect that these positions deserve. And the story that I always tell is I was in an emergency situation. I had to go through the emergency room, super stressed out. And of course, they ask you, like, what do you do? And I said, I'm a CTS manager, and nobody knows what a CTS manager is outside of Job Corps. And surprisingly, the nurse that was triaging me said, oh, Job Corps, I'm a graduate. So just keep that in mind when talking to these students, that they're going to go out there and do some amazing things in our community and serve some really important roles. So we want to treat them according to those positions that they're going to fill. We have to model employability at all times. The students are looking to us for cues on how to act. Accountability is how we grow and improve. We have to treat each student with the golden rule in mind. They're young people, they're transitioning to adulthood. They deserve a little grace and understanding. They're still learning. We want to be patient and kind. It's important to remember that from the time that they go through outreach and admissions to CPP, to academics, to CTT, to CTR, they're in a constant state of change and transition from one phase of life to another. And that can be stressful. Even if it's good stress, it's still stressful for them. And then take an active interest in these young people, build rapport, create relationships, serve as a mentor. We get to be that person for these students, so we don't want to let them down. And then we have placement needs. So as you're talking to students, you want to normalize working these questions into your conversations. What is your pathway? Tell me about your plans after graduation. What are you most excited for after you leave? Do you have any friends or family who might want to enroll? Have you identified your success team? What have you accomplished since enrolling in Gary? Do you have a backup plan? Can I get your updated contact information? Is there anything you need help with? How's your PAR coming along? Have you thought about where you will go to work or school after leaving Gary? Have you met with your CTS provider yet? Who's your support circle? And have you started writing your success story? So a couple of important things with these questions, I think, is to focus on the positive. One of the things that I always say about these students is that I think it's kind of sad that if you ask them about barriers, if you ask them about negatives, they can tell you all the barriers, all the negatives, all that stuff, but they have a hard time sometimes verbalizing what they're good at or what their successes are. So we want to make sure that we're focused on those success stories and the things that they have accomplished while they're at Gary. And then the other thing is we want to talk about their success story as if it's a finite deal, not as if it's an option. It's not an option to fail if you come to Gary. We just want to know what that success story is going to look like, not if it's going to happen, because it is going to happen. Do you believe in MAJAC? So MAJAC stands for Military, Advanced Training, Job, Apprenticeships, or College. Every student that's enrolled in Gary for 60 days or more and is not separated for a zero tolerance offense needs MAJAC. Okay, that was a lot of information. So here's another quiz question. Of the 10 most populous cities in America, how many are in Texas? Anyone?
1.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
11.
Nope. Ms.
Yeah.
Benton, close.
Someone said 5. Someone said, Katie said 3. Victoria Alejandro said 2.
Katie, what's your last name?
Lopez.
Lopez. Alrighty, Katie got it right. So 3, Houston's number 4, San Antonio's number 7, Dallas number 9, and then right outside of the top 10 is Austin at number 11. And here's some pictures of those beautiful cities. And we are in all these cities. So bringing it all together. So it starts with taxpayer. Taxpayer pays their taxes. Department of Labor goes and studies labor market information. Labor market information is pumped into WIOA. WIOA takes that and decides to fund programs like Job Corps. Job Corps is looking for arrivals. We retain those arrivals, turn them into graduates that eventually get placed, and then those placed students are taxpayers. And so it continues the circle of success. So a critical component to achieving our goals is teamwork. No one department can create a successful graduate. It takes us all pitching in to make things work. Our students are as diverse as our employees are. So what one student responds to, another may not. We're all here because we bring a unique set of skills to the table that our students can benefit from. We have to lean on each other for expertise when needed. In addition to pulling from each other's strengths, we have to practice self-care. Burnout is very real in our industry. So you have to use your team for assistance so that you can take a break when necessary. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Working together is the key to success. Okay, another quiz question. So not only is everything bigger in Texas, but we're also faster. The fastest stretch of road in America connects San Antonio to Austin. What's the speed limit?
85.
Yeah, who said that?
Pilot Cyphers.
Oh, okay, Miss Cypher, she got it again. Awesome. Yep, 85 miles an hour. So although it doesn't stretch the entire distance, there's a length of toll road between Austin and San Antonio that has an 85 mile per hour speed limit, making it the fastest length of highway in the entire country. Does anybody have any questions about placement? Or any comments on placement? Anything? Don't be shy. Nope. Okie doke. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.